Welcome! It's a great day to be a miner because we got some new hardware, baby. We're going to unbox these things, set them up, go over to specs, features, where you can buy them, and of course, most importantly, whether or not you should buy them. But first, let's spin that intro. All right, so here we are, and quick disclaimer, we paid for these with our own cold hard cash. That means we can say whatever we want, and this is not a sponsored video. Now that we got that out of the way, we picked up both of these a while back. Actually, this one was a while back, this one was recent. Picked this one up on deal. These are both from Plebsource. We'll make sure to put links for this down in the description, but they have really great prices and they ship really quick in the US. But without further ado, let's go ahead and unbox these. You're probably going, hey Altered, what's in the box? You know what time it is, baby? RGB knife? Engage. All right, so eeny, meeny, miny, you. Let's open this one first. Again, both from Plebsource, both at a fairly decent price, but the same price that everyone else would get. We like to buy as ourselves, that way we're not getting a special treatment when these items come in and they are sent to me rather than to Altered Component, because some companies tend to send YouTubers a little bit of a more premium product, premium packaging, maybe some extra inserts that random people purchasing the item might not get, and so that's why we buy it just with our own cash as our regular personal accounts. So there you go, let's get that out of there. So first impression, wow, it's packaged very, very well. Check this out. This is the Bitaxe, it is the NerdQaxe Rev 6 Pro Edition. They call it the Pro Edition. The only difference on the Pro Edition is actually the stand and the rear fan, but we're gonna get this out of here. Wasn't sure what would in which box. Interesting, this is an interesting build. Okay, so there is the main unit itself. And then the only other thing in here is the power supply brick. There's no invoice or anything in there. And then the 5-15 NEMA plug for the wall. And this runs off of the XT30 power connector. This brick is interesting. I've never seen this type of brick. It is a this is a 180 watt power supply. Wow. 12 volt, 15 amps for a NerdQaxe. I've never seen one shipped with 180 watts. Right there it is, 12 volt, 15 amp. So yeah, that's an impressive start. Great start there. All right, so now the NerdQaxe++, this is the Rev 6. The Rev 6 has bigger, thicker traces in it. It has the upgraded XT30 power connector. It has moved some of the components from the front of the board to the back of the board to help with cooling. And overall, it's just a more stable, better product than the original NerdQaxe. This thing can overclock way better. So now, how about this fan? So the fan, the cooler looks about normal. It is the normal Thermalright 90 millimeter fan with the Thermalright cooler underneath. It looks like it's got 5 heat pipes all blacked out. The mounting is just a four hole spring retention, spring screw retention, it looks like, holding it onto the board. We've got, of course, our normal heat sinks here on the front like they all do. The dual fan is interesting. So the rear fan that they added on this thing, it's quite different looking, and it's actually mounted way different than I've ever seen. So this is just like a 3D print shroud that is on here. Look at that. So, wow, okay, that is nifty. That's a nifty design. It literally is designed to slide right onto the kickback stand here, and the fan just screws right into it. And then it's just a 3D print style design. And then if I can get it right back on where it was. Okay, whoop, I get it on the top. There we go. That is sick. So let's go ahead and unbox our next item. Then we'll get them set up and we'll take a good close-up look of them. So let's set this guy here to the side. Oh, and by the way, this here is not a NerdQaxe. This thing with the giant similar cooler, it's not actually a NerdQaxe. I think that's the same cooler, to be honest. It is not a NerdQaxe. This is the Bitaxe GT Turbo 800X. We recently did a couple videos on it. One, we put on this massive cooler and mounted it on there, and then we did a second follow-up video where we done tons of overclocking on this thing. So make sure to check out those videos out up above. And yeah, now to the next one. Again, what's in the box? Oh yeah, well, let's open it up. Again, it's from Plebsource. Plebsource. We paid full price for this one. We paid for it for a while back. It's probably been sitting here for 2 or 3 months where we just haven't had bandwidth to get to this project. We're cranking them out as fast as we can, guys. Cranking them out. Okay. So, let's see if we can get this thing out of the box. Okay, so this one actually came with the business card on the top that says Plebsource, read before returning, shipping, damage, overheating, tech support, and it has the QR code. We don't need that. We got the foam topper, and again, we are packaged very nicely, entombed in foam again. Let's pull that power supply out first and take a look at it. A much smaller power supply. It is 120 watts. That's still pretty solid power supply. However, this is running on a barrel jack, 5.5 millimeter barrel jack plug instead of the nice upgraded XT30 power connector. Here is our standard other US cord to plug into the wall. There is our prize. Right in top of the glass again. Okay, so this one is a NerdQaxe++ as well, but this is the non-pro. It's not the Rev 6. This is the pre-Rev 6 version of Rev 5, whatever it is. So the main key difference is on this guy. Right away, you can tell the cooler is a low profile, way thinner on the amount of surface area and amount of aluminum fin stack on there. So your main heat sink is smaller. Fan looks the same. There is no rear fan on this guy. It is the Rev 5, so it has the barrel jack power connector. It's using a smaller power supply. The traces are not as thick, and a lot of the components are on the front instead of on the back of the board. And so yeah, this guy, while it's a really nice product and a great product, it will never be able to overclock quite like this guy here. Okay, that is beautiful. Okay, so now we're gonna do the setup on this thing. We're not gonna go through the complete setup. If you need help with that, check out the video up above where we go over in depth on how to set one of these up for mining. But we will give you a quick summary on the setup. So physical setup is easy. Plug them into the wall and plug in the power connector. That's your physical setup. Your setup for mining, the number one step, you're going to plug them in. You're going to use a mobile device, whether it be a phone or tablet, some way to connect to a Wi-Fi network. These will each broadcast their own Wi-Fi network. You'll go to your Wi-Fi, you'll find the individual miner, you'll connect to it. I always hit connect only this time when it pops up the message. That way, if for some reason it disconnects, the network does. It doesn't try to make your mobile device connect back to this. Then it will say connected without internet. Then you go to your browser on the same device, open up the browser, go to 192.168.4.1. That will open up the OS page for this, the AxeOS. Then you will go ahead and connect it to your Wi-Fi. From there, you'll rename the host name, so you'll rename the device if you want to. If it's NerdQaxe, I would probably put NerdQaxe Plebsource, right? So that I know which one I'm specifically talking about, or NerdQaxe Pro Plebsource and non-Pro Plebsource. That way I can identify them easily in my handy dandy Hashwatcher app. Video coming up on that soon. Next, once you connect to them and you change the host name, you want to connect to, you put in your Wi-Fi network settings. So you'll go down to your Wi-Fi, hit the little magnifying glass, find your Wi-Fi network, select it, put in your Wi-Fi password exactly as it is, then you're gonna hit save, reboot. That will restart the device, and then it will no longer be connected to your mobile device. It will disconnect and connect to your router. Your router will assign it a local IP address, and then this thing will boot up. It will say the local IP address up here. Again, you could open it up from your phone, from your computer, whatever, as long as it's on the same network. Go to the new local IP address in the browser, and then that's where you'll click your settings. You'll go in and you'll put in your new pool, and you'll put in your worker. Your worker could be your Bitcoin address dot your worker name. It could be your account dot, or account name dot your worker name if you're using somewhere like via BTC. And then you're gonna save, you're gonna reboot, and then of course you can go in and you can change your overclocks, your frequency, your core frequency. But that is the abbreviated setup. Yeah, now without further ado, let's time warp to where we've done all that magic. Ready, go. Boom, just like that, they're set up, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. All right, so got both of these set up. This one was a little bit more difficult to get reset up because once I went into the settings, the bottom tab was covering with the alert that says, because it comes pre-overclocked. So I actually had to take the overclocks out. I took a screenshot of the overclocks, but I had to take the overclocks out, put them back to standard, then save it, restart it. Then I opened it up in a browser and put the settings back in. So how are they doing so far? So this one, this Pro, is the most efficient device that I've had on Bitcoin so far. Now, I know it's overclocked, but man, it is running like 13 joules per terahash, watts per terahash, 13.7 currently. It's running 5.9 terahash, and it's showing like 80.5 watts in the device. That is crazy efficiency. Usually these devices you'll run around between 16 to 18, but man, that is really crazy, a crazy efficiency right out the box. Now this one, it's doing fine. It's running 4.9 terahash. Again, these are on the default clocks, whereas this one comes pre-overclocked. It is running right around 16 watts per terahash, which again, that's pretty efficient. It is showing 78.6 watts in the software. Okay, so now let's talk profitability and whether or not you should buy one of these. First and foremost, this is not financial advice. You do you. Never put yourself in a hard place, in a hard financial situation. If you don't have expendable income, buying solo miners, buying expendable electronics and mining devices, be smart with your money. That being said, these are solo miners. That means they're not designed to pool mine. They're not designed to get daily incremental shares. They're made to put onto a network, whether it's SHA-256 network, whether it be Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Digibytes, or some other SHA-256 coin. They are made to set up on one of those networks, on one of those blockchains, let them run, and if they hit that block, then you get that whole block reward minus whatever the pool fee is, unless you're mining your own node. Whole different topic. The chance, what's the chance that this thing's gonna hit a Bitcoin block and then I'm gonna be yelling yippee yippee and your boy Altair's gonna be all over social media going, we did it, we did it. Pretty low, but there is that chance. There is a chance that someday I can wake up and this thing earned me 3.125 Bitcoin, but it's not likely. So keep that in mind. Now, let's talk about where you can get these and how much they are, because the prices right now are pretty crazy low. So I paid $400 for this guy. It was $399.99. I paid $429.99 for this guy. Current prices on Plebsource, this guy here is only $269.99. That's pretty impressive. This guy here, the Pro Edition, Rev 6 Pro Edition, is running $375.99. So about 50 bucks cheaper and well, $120, $130 cheaper on this guy. That's pretty crazy. And even though this isn't this kind of power supply, it's still a 120 watt power supply. It's still an impressive brick. It's still an impressive device. it just will never reach the high-end overclocking that this device does. If you're buying something to set it and forget it, hey man, buy one of these, save the money, put it on BTC and let it roll and never mess with it. But if you're like me and you want the best of the best and you want to try to push the thing and you want to overclock and you want to nerd out, this is your guy. So what about you? Tell us your thoughts on these guys on Plebsource, and tell us what your favorite solo miner is down in the comments. People would love to know. Yeah, tell us what kind of hash rate you're getting on your, what kind of overclocks and hash rate you're getting on your NerdQaxes. People want to know. I think that about wraps it up for today's video. If you're new to mining and need some help, make sure to join the Misfit Mining Discord. Always plenty of seasoned vets in there willing to help you out. If you liked the video, you know what to do. Smash that like button and subscribe for future content. Thanks for coming along and enjoy the ride. I'm the little NerdQaxe. I'm the big boy NerdQaxe.